Hi everybody, this is Pastor Bob. Today is the Monday, the 29th, and we are studying the Passion and Death of Christ as per the Gospel of Mark. So here's our first passages. It is chapter 14, verses 1 through 16. It was 2 days before the Passover and the festival of unleavened bread. The chief priests and the scribes were looking for a way to arrest Jesus by stealth and kill him. For they said, "Not during the festival, or there may be a riot among the people." While he was at Bethany in the house of Simon the leper, as he sat at the table, a woman came with an alabaster jar of very costly ointment of nard. And she broke open the jar and poured the ointment on his head. But some were there who said to one another in anger, "Why was the ointment wasted in this way? For this ointment could have been sold for more than 300 denarii, and the money given to the poor." And they scolded her. But Jesus said, "Let her alone. Why do you trouble her? She has performed a good service for me. For you always have the poor with you, but you will not always have me. She has done what she could. She has anointed my body beforehand for its burial. Truly I tell you, wherever the good news is proclaimed in the whole world, what she has done will be told in remembrance of her." Then Judas Iscariot, who was one of the 12, went to the chief priests in order to betray him to them. When they heard it, they were greatly pleased and promised to give him money, so he began to look for an opportunity to betray him. On the first day of unleavened bread, when the Passover lamb is sacrificed, his disciples said to him, "Where do you want us to go and make the preparations for you to eat the Passover?" So he sent 2 of his disciples, saying to them, "Go into the city, and a man carrying a jar of water will meet you. Follow him, and wherever he enters, say to the owner of the house, 'The teacher asks, where is my guest room where I may eat the Passover with my disciples?' He will show you a large room upstairs, furnished and ready. Make preparations for us there." So the disciples set out and went to the city and found everything as he had told them, and they prepared the Passover meal. Now I'm sure you've heard similar passages before. Perhaps you've even heard this specific passage before. And one of the things about this passage that we really should talk about is we should talk about what the woman did, and we should talk about what the disciples did. I mean, it doesn't seem like a big thing. Incidentally, I had a really long day at work today, so I'm wearing my best orange sweatshirt just for you guys. 300 denarii was easily a year's worth of wages. This woman thought so highly of Jesus that she used a year's worth of wages to anoint him. I mean, just think about this for a second. That would be akin to somebody who works, I don't know, somebody who works in a grocery store. Been there for a couple of years. They're making about $25,000 to $30,000 a year, depending upon how much overtime they get. And they take all $25,000 and they buy something, and then they use it to anoint someone, to put it on their head and rub it through their hair. I mean, just think about that. Think about when you were working, how much you made a year. Would you buy something that was a year's worth of what you made and then just spend it on one day, in one place, at one time, on one person. What she did was phenomenal. But why did she do it? She did it because she knew who Jesus was. She knew that Jesus was God, the Son of God to them. But Jesus was, how do I put this? The place that held God. Like the Jews believed the temple was the place that held God. But Jesus was the place that held God. But now let's look at the disciples real quick. Jesus gives them instructions, just like he did on Palm Sunday when he said, go and untie, you'll find this colt, untie him. If they ask you about it, just say, the master needs it and he'll return it. They do that, and they do this. They go and find this man with a jar, they follow him, and then they make preparations for the Passover meal for Jesus. So what does that speak to? That speaks to their willingness to follow whatever Jesus tells them to do. Now, I don't want to make this too long because we have 4 more of these. But what I do want to point out is that for us, that's the lesson for us. The lesson is to be willing to give whatever you need to give for the glory and honor of Jesus Christ, much like the woman. And to do whatever Jesus wants you to do for the glory and honor of the kingdom. I mean, the difference being we have different lives than what they had back then. But we also have safer lives than what they had back then. And sometimes we're the people that stop us from doing what needs to be done. I hope you enjoyed this. I'll be back again tomorrow night. Thank you very much, and God bless you.